let's get going. My name is Paul Smith. I'm going to spend 5 minutes or less introducing myself and our company, and then I'm going to get straight into what you're all here for, which is service accommodation and how to make money from service accommodation. So here we go. Touchstone Education is our company. I love our company. Well, I should do. I founded it. So I just love working with people, love helping people to get to financial freedom. So what we're going to cover tonight specifically is service accommodation quick start. Specifically, how to turn houses into hands-free hotels, making £1,000 a month cash flow, profit, not turnover, profit per property with none of your own time. That's what I'm up to. So if in an hour's time you're liking what you're listening to, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with us, which I would absolutely love to do. If over the next hour you discover that service accommodation scares the hell out of you and you don't want to do it, completely respect that, because it's a business and it takes work, and you can make a load of money, but there is some work involved in order to set it up. Set it up properly, follow the systems. I'm going to share some of the systems with you tonight over the next hour, and you'll make a lot of money very fast. So very briefly, there's me and my lovely wife, Anniko. So that's Paul and Anniko Smith, the two of us. That was actually a picture not too far from Dubai, actually, Will. That was Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last year. I think that was November last year. And then after that, we spent a very pleasant few days in Dubai. So that was very, very pleasant. Myself and Anniko, we've got a significant property portfolio. We've still got a few buy-to-lets. We mainly got commercial property these days, though. So shops, offices, that sort of stuff, and service accommodation. Service accommodation is commercial, not residential. And our focus is service departments, education, and I want to show you what service accommodation did for me. This is very special because I'm actually a Guinness World Record holder for public speaking. And I used to watch, I don't know if anybody else used to watch the Record Breakers with Roy Castle. And I'm absolutely fabulously honoured to actually be in the Guinness Book of World Records. So there you go. That's it. When you get into it, they give you a certificate that looks like that. And service accommodation did that for me because I did a public speech, quite a long public speech on service accommodation, and I made it into the world records. 4 years ago now, we actually started around about this time of year, actually. Yes, it was June, this time of year in 2014. So here we are in June 2018, and I've grown from 0 service accommodation to, we take more than that, £10,000. That's actually it's a screenshot on my phone. That's an app called Stripe. So that's from a while ago now. But on that particular day in history at 21:49, so 11 minutes to 10 in the evening, we had taken £10,018.73 in our service accommodation business, which is absolutely great. But we've got to that from nothing in 4 years. Now, the good news for you is we didn't have any systems. There was no training courses. There were no books. We were making it up as we went along because there was nobody to teach us. There was nobody to show us. So we've got to hundreds of thousands of pounds a month, millions of pounds a year in just 4 years. Follow the systems that we've got, follow the stuff that I want to share with you this evening, and you can get to that kind of number much quicker than we did. So we've got students, we've got clients, we've got people that friends that we've worked with that have got to hundreds of thousands of pounds, and it's only taken them 12 to 18 months. So if you like the idea of making fantastic returns so fast, just follow the systems. So here's what I do. Here's me in action. This is me down in London. I was doing a public speech to about 350 people that evening in London. So that's just where I'm at home. I just love whether it's speaking to big groups like that, or whether it's, this is our head office. This is in Doncaster. We've got a 7,000 square foot building there. Or whether it's working with smaller groups like this. So this is a group of about 60, no, maybe not, maybe 50 that I was working with that day. That was a service accommodation group. That's a group called the Service Accommodation Mastermind. So the people that really want to turn this into a mega business, we work with them for 6 months, and they're really focused, they work really hard, and they get really fabulous results after just about 6 months, or in fact, sometimes sooner. And that's one of the mentors. That's Vanessa at her table. So each mentor works the table of 6 to 8 people. So that's Vanessa working with her table there. And you can see they're all crowded around their laptop. They're all, I love that expression on their faces. They are so focused, they're happy, they're learning, and they're making money. What better way to spend your life than working with people that are happy, focused, and making money? I love it. I absolutely love it. So Touchstone is our education company. Diamond Serviced Apartments is our operational company. So it runs our service departments. So it does operational service accommodation management, both for us and for other people. It manages our own service accommodation units, and it manages customer units hands-free. We operate UK-wide. We've got 140 units or customer units plus our own in there operating away. So we've got a substantial service accommodation business, both our own plus operating units for other people. And we've got another 100+ units in our pipeline. In fact, that's not true. So I've got a block of 100 that I've been offered as well. So we've got 200+ units in our pipeline. I get to contribute to property publications like this, the YPN. That was an article I did a while ago now on service accommodation. So I'm a regular contributor to the YPN. And I wrote a book last year. It's about a year ago now. So we launched that last summer. And that's the Service Accommodation Success Manual. So if you fancy reading a book on service accommodation, well, just jump onto Amazon and order yourself a copy of that. Because when I started, there was no book. So several years later, I wrote one, and fabulous people have bought it and said nice things about it, and it boosted it up to #1 bestseller in books on Amazon. That's all books, you know, better than 50 Shades of this, that, or the other, or better than the Bible, or, you know, or whatever. So #1 bestseller, all categories on Amazon. So I'm a very, very lucky guy. I do what I'm passionate about, and I get very, very handsomely paid by my service accommodation business for it. So over the years, I've done a lot of things right. So let's start moving into the content now. Never mind about Paul and whatever else, but, you know, just some background so you know who you're listening to. So over the years, I've done quite a few things right. And in case you think I can walk on water, no, I can't. I'm like everybody else. If I try that, I'm going to get wet. So I'm going to show you a particular project that we did quite a while ago now. And then I'm going to show you the relevance to service accommodation, because I don't want you, Rangan, how you doing? Dave, how you doing? Get back to you on that at the end if I can, Dave, if that's all right. So I'm going to show you a property now that you might think, Jesus Christ, you couldn't use that for service accommodation, but I promise you, you can. So I'm going to show you an example of, so what I don't want you thinking is service accommodation just has to be 1 and 2 bedroom flats. No, it doesn't. So let me show you a project we did in 2003. So what is that? 15 years ago now. We bought a commercial property, which was a care home. We converted it to residential. We got very significant capital appreciation. I'm going to show you the figures. And we held it and refinanced it. And we got a 90% plus return on it, which is huge, absolutely huge. So this is what it looked like before. So there's the ground floor, the first floor, the second floor. This is a 5,000 square foot property called Dunera. That's what it looked like when we bought it. This was the inside. It was a very tired old care home. Very, very tired. It was one of the lounges. The people that owned it had young children, so it was a nursery come care home. Imagine that. Everything from, you know, little toddlers up to people in their 90s. That's another one of the lounges. So tired, it's untrue. That was the kitchen. So, yeah, it was functional. It wasn't disgusting, but it was very dated. Afterwards, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like now. And that's actually where I'm talking to you from. That is now our home. So we live here. So that's Dunera. That's what one of the lounges we've refurbished it to. So I hope you'd agree that looks a little bit better. That's the hallway. So we love our hallway. Well, we love our house, basically. Got a snooker room. That's where I'm actually sat just now. I'm sat in my study talking to you. So I've got a beautiful workspace at home. We've got a Scottish office just down the road where 6 people working. We've got an English office where we've got 20 odd people working. So, you know, as a team, we're over 30, but that's my little personal workspace just at the house. That's our kitchen. So, you know, it's fantastic. Lily is saying, no voice, no video. Is it my phone faulty, or have you got an IT issue? Well, I'm guessing everybody else can hear me. So could you just confirm? In fact, let me ask you this. Who would like to live in a house like this? That'll prove it. Who would like to? All good. Me. Yup. Me. Yep. Yes. Me. Yes. Good. Right. It actually gets better than that. Believe it or not, I got paid £200,000 to live in this house. Imagine that. Who would like to live in a house like this and get paid £200,000 for the privilege? Absolutely fantastic. Now, let me just give you the numbers, and then I'll move on to why it's relevant to service accommodation. So everybody can hear me. Gone out and back, black screen and no voice. Lily, everybody else can hear me, so I'm afraid it's a connection issue at your end. So I'm going to need to push on. So we bought the property for 450. We spent 125 doing it up. So 575,000 was the total spend. As soon as we did that, it revalued at 1.1 million. How about that? So more or less doubled our money. And we put a resi mortgage on it at the time, this is 15 years ago, of £770,000. And so that meant we got extra cash out after all costs. We paid all of, every penny we got back out again, plus an extra £200,000. So why is that relevant to service accommodation? Well, over the years, we've been offered as much as £28,000 a week, £28,000 a week to have people rent our house as service accommodation. Now, I want to give you a different example, sort of similar to ours, but a bit bigger. So if you please, just make a note, Google Archerfield House, Mansion House. Now that's a property near Edinburgh, so it's in Scotland as well. And it's about a £2 million property. So ours is a £1 million property, theirs is a £2 million property. I'm going to show you some pictures of it because it is full-time service accommodation. Here it is. So isn't it gorgeous? So look at it, Archerfield House. Now, I don't know if your eyes are good, but if you can, well, if you can't read it, I'll read it out to you. It says, if you go, I want you to go to it. So this one is a 10-bedroom house. This is a full-on manor house, and it's a full-time service. So they have weddings there, and people stay there and whatever. It's 10 bedrooms. So you go and try and book that for a wedding or a business meeting or something like that. You'll probably find you can't get in for the next 2 years. I'm going to read this out to you. Prices from £6,600 per night. £6,600 per night. It's like 40 odd grand per week. That's £2 million per year. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. So who likes the idea of having a £2 million property earning a turnover, not profit, earning a turnover of £2 million a year? Just make some noise in that chat box if you like the idea of a £2 million property turning over £2 million a year. It's insane, absolutely bonkers. So Georgia said, yes, I'll have one of those. So we've got a fingers up from Adolfo, from Rangan, from Jamie. Jamie's saying, I'll cut the grass. I'll cut the grass and betray my northern roots there. I'll cut the grass. So anyway, yeah, absolutely fantastic. So that is why our house is relevant to service accommodation. So you could do deals like that. And Gary is saying, what about normal properties? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to talk about normal properties, but just before I did, Gary, I wanted to give an example of a not normal property, because that's mental, isn't it? So, oops, I pressed the wrong button. I need to go back over here. Okay, so just to go back to what I was saying earlier, I've also done a lot of things wrong over the years. So just focusing on just my house and the lessons that I learned from my project. I didn't know that the correct rate of VAT to pay on a commercial conversion was 5%. So that cost me 15 grand in overpaid VAT. I also didn't know anything about capital allowances, which you can claim on commercial conversions and service accommodation. So I cost myself more than £100,000 in overpaid tax. So I very often say that some people say education is expensive. No, it's not. It's ignorance that's expensive. So Wazim, great question, is saying, could we rent to rent service accommodation, or do we need to own the property? No, Wazim, I'm going to cover that this evening. You can absolutely do rent to rent. So you could do rent to rents on big houses as well, like I live in or like Archerfield House. You don't only have to do rent to rents on 1 and 2 bedroom flats. But anyway, let's very, very briefly cover what is service accommodation. So what is service accommodation? Well, it's normal flats and houses, or crazy flats and houses like Dunera or Archerfield House. Critically, you're going to rent it by the night, by the week, or by the month. Very specifically, you're not going to put a 6-month AST, or in Scotland an SAT, on the property. You're not going to have a tenant, you're going to have guests. So there's no tenancy agreement of any kind. There's many different variants, including luxury, family, and tradesmen. I'm going to cover a few different ones of those this evening. So it's similar to hotel accommodation. So what's happening in the marketplace? What's new? What's happening in the world of service accommodation? Well, Airbnb has launched a service specifically for business travelers. So it's Airbnb for business. So Airbnb and Booking.com are specifically targeting business travelers for you, so you get longer, more valuable bookings. More than 1,000 businesses from loads of different countries around the world, big Fortune 1000 companies, including Google, use Airbnb's accommodation in more than 190 countries. So Airbnb are specifically targeting business travelers for you. This is what it looks like. This is the homepage for Airbnb for business. Look at what that says there. Travel for work, feel at home. Be your best self when you're on the road. So they're spending millions on advertising our properties and your properties to the businesses around the world. Travel for work, feel at home. I like that. That feels nice. Booking.com, they do it as well. Better travel management for your business. Now, okay, Airbnb is more touchy-feely. It's more of a brand. Booking.com is more transactional. It's more of a, it's more like a travel agent. But Booking.com is the biggest. I'm going to talk more about Booking.com later on. But, so working with likes of Airbnb and Booking.com, you can make thousands and thousands of pounds more with the same properties that you might have as buy-to-lets at the minute every month, just by learning how to put them onto, turn them into service apartments. What do they look like? I'm going to embarrass me. So Claire is saying, can it work in any area? Absolutely. So Claire, in the UK, we've got service apartments as far north as Nairn in the north of Scotland. And we've got service apartments as far south as Bournemouth and all points in between. So we've got them in Yorkshire, we've got them in Lancashire, we've got them in the Midlands, in Birmingham, Walsall, London, all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. But I'm going to embarrass myself now because I'm going to show you some of my first service apartments. Now, I'm not pretending they're the best. And some of these pictures are a bit dodgy because I took them on my iPhone, and I'm talking, 4 or 5 years ago now. And these were just one-bedroom flats, cheap, 50, 60,000 pounds. One-bedroom flats in a place called Dumbarton that we turned into serviced apartments. So look at that. Dumbarton, 4 out of 1,048 properties available. Now, don't panic. There aren't 1,045 serviced apartments in Dumbarton. That's a massive catchment area that Booking.com's pulled in there. That's all of Glasgow and the central belt of Scotland, effectively. But all 3 of those, well, all 4 of them, but I could only get a screenshot of 3 of them, and this is from years ago. The one that says main door apartment, ground floor apartment, and apartment flat 3, all 3 of those were ours, and that's years and years and years ago. So there was 4 listed in Dumbarton when we started, and all 4 of them were ours. So here is the very first one. This is number 6, Station Road, Dumbarton. We set this up for contractors. Now, we set it up on a shoestring. So we actually furnished it from a charity shop, believe it or not, which is why the furniture doesn't really match. And we put in single beds because we were targeting contractors. So we wanted to make sure that, contractors will share a bedroom, but they frequently won't want to share a bed. But just in case, we tried to think of everything. You take that little bedside cabinet out of the way and push the beds together. So in case they wanted to sleep together, you see, we put a little purple heart above the bed. So, little tip for you. The serious tip is if you're after contractors, you want single beds, not double beds. But on an even more practical basis, if you're not sure or you're experimenting, write this one down. Go for zip and link beds. So I'm sure you all know what a zip and link bed is. It literally zips up the middle, and you can make a double bed into 2 singles in about 3 minutes. There are no tools. So zip and link. There's the lounge. So you can see very, very ordinary, basic even lounge. Why am I showing you that picture? Well, one, to emphasize that they weren't fancy in the early days. And yeah, we've still got these units, but we've got some nicer ones as well. Because somebody just now said, show me the ordinary units. Well, that's a pretty ordinary unit. That's a £50,000 flat in Dumbarton's like I guess I'd describe it as a Glasgow commuter town. There's 4 trains every hour to Glasgow from Dumbarton, every 15 minutes. And it takes about 20 minutes to get into Glasgow from Dumbarton. So people tend to live in Dumbarton and work in Glasgow. So, but the specific thing I want to draw your attention to in that picture is the black settee. It is a settee or couch, whatever you want to call it, but it's also a sofa bed. So make sure you put a sofa bed in. So even a 1-bedroom flat can now sleep 4 people. So Gary is saying, thank you. These properties seem more realistic. Well, yeah, Gary, I mean, my house is real because I'm talking to you from it. Archerfield House is real, makes big money. But you know, that one there that was my first one. And that was years and years and years ago. That's the kitchen, just to show you how kind of ordinary that is. You know, really not fancy. And there's the bathroom. So it was just a regular buy-to-let that we'd had for years. And all we did is when the tenant moved out, we didn't want to evict the tenant or anything, but you know, a tenant moved out of one of our buy-to-lets, and we just furnished it from a charity shop, and we started making great money. So why would you do service accommodation? Well, you get no tenant issues whatsoever. So have I got any buy-to-let landlords listening to me tonight? So can you just say yes if you've ever had any tenant issues? Because I'm going to guess quite a few of you have. Rangan, yep. George, yes, hash, whatever that means. Victoria, yes. Zara, yes. Naomi, sorry. Yes. George, there's a typo. Whoops. Steve, lots. Colin, yep. Lily, yep. So, sorry, yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. So I'm just checking in from time to time, make sure you can hear me. So huge factor for me was no tenant issues. So if you've had tenant issues, you can't possibly have tenant issues with service accommodation because you don't have any tenants. You got 0 bad debt. How can you have 0 bad debt? We got 0 bad debt because you take full payment at the time of booking with a credit card. So you're getting paid in full in advance. And sometimes people will book like a year ahead. So as well as getting more money, you've got no bad debt and you're getting paid ages in advance. A payment at time of booking with credit card. That's the way we started out. I'm going to share with you the 7-step system to ensure your success. And I'm going to share with you some examples of the huge returns that you can get from service accommodation. So why would you do service accommodation? Well, I showed you a screenshot just recently. And that again is a picture of my phone. Look, Diamond Serviced Apartments, today's volume by 14 minutes past 4 in the afternoon, £11,825. £11,825. There was one day last week, Monday last week, we took more than £76,000 worth of bookings in one day. And that was just the direct bookings. That wasn't even going through this. So there's just absolutely huge amounts of money to be made from service department. So Eugene has asked me a question there. Is there any difference in insurance for service accommodation? Thank you, Eugene. Yeah, absolutely. There are some things you need to do. There are some things you need to change. So you have to get the correct insurance in place, Eugene, and everybody else. So there's stuff you need to do. There's work you need to do. This isn't free money. It's tons of money, but you've got to do some work. Okay, no problem, Eugene. So I'm going to share with you a specific case study. I'm going to share with you some numbers from one of our very early, brackets, embarrassing service departments. I would shoot myself if this was one of my current service departments, but I'm going back over the years just to show you how, well, not how bad it was, but how basic it was when I started out, because I was just rubbing pennies together and hoping that a genie would appear out of them, and it did. So this is one of our flats in a place called Meadowbank in Dumbarton. And again, this had been run for years as a buy-to-let. So you can see again, that one's been kitted out from the second-hand shop, from the charity shop. But again, you can see it's a nice, big, spacious room, slightly dodgy second-hand curtains there, but a big family dining table, big lounge. And again, you can see a sofa bed. So that thing on the right there is a sofa bed. That is the bedroom. You can see how small that was. And again, we're targeting contractors with this one. So 2 single beds, very much on purpose because we're targeting contractors. So we could have realistically 3 contractors. So 2 in here and 1 in the lounge on the sofa bed, because you can't really get 2 contractors on a sofa bed. There's a kitchen and there's a bathroom. So, you know, it's tidy enough, but very dodgy pictures, not dressed, not professional photography, just me with my iPhone. And that was a very, very early one. I think that was our 3rd or 4th one, probably. So what was the results of that particular one? Well, it had been giving us £125 a month cash flow as a buy-to-let. In the first 6 months that that one was live, we took £6,268 gross. And by the time we took out, we charged ourselves the full buy-to-let rent as a cost, because it's not fair to compare it against nothing. You've got to compare it to what you would get, in my view, against the buy-to-let. That's taking out the booking fees, the cleaning fees, all the utilities, the business rates, you know, all of the costs, the Wi-Fi, everything. So you take out all of the costs, and we actually cleared £3,447. And we're like, wow, that's £575 per month, which is like 5 times what we've been getting from our single lets. Boom, suddenly within 6 months, just by converting our single lets into service accommodation, we were completely and absolutely financially free. So if you like the idea of taking existing single lets that you own, or if you don't own them, pay full market rent to some other landlord and manage that rent to rent service accommodation, you're going to make that kind of money, because that is after taking out the full buy-to-let rent. So the net from service accommodation was 575, but then as a buy-to-let that we were rent to rent it from ourselves effectively, if that makes sense, we were making another 100, 150. So total we were making out of that property is probably 700 to 750 pounds per month. So this is real numbers that I'm showing you from real service accommodation units that we've got in place. Okay, Grace is asking me what sort of contract should it be when you're doing rent to rent, SA? It should be a management agreement, Grace. It should be a management agreement. So the phrase you want is management agreement. So your financial freedom. What is your monthly financial freedom figure? Please write it down for me. I know you'll all have one. Don't type, well, you can put it in the chat box if you want, but write it down. Do you need £2,000 a month, £3,000 a month, £5,000 a month? What do you need to be totally, so you can sack the boss and not go into work on Monday? So I won't read your names out, but I've got somebody here saying £2,000. Absolutely fine. So absolutely fine. 4. Okay, so 10 grand, 3.5, 10, 5 to 10. All right, no problem. Well, I want you to write down your financial freedom figure, and I want you to double it. So whatever you just put in the chat box, double it. Because I don't want you to save your way to financial freedom. I want you to be totally financially free as a result of service accommodation. And I don't want you to be scrimping and saving. I want you to have a nice life. So whatever figure you just told me. So if you just told me 3, change it to 6. Now I want you to ask this question. Would 5 or 10 service accommodation units, each making 7, 8, 9, £1,000 a month, would an extra 5 to 10 grand a month make a difference to you? So just let me know in the chat box if 5 to 10 grand a month extra within the next 6 months would make a difference to you. Oh my God, yes, 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 yes. Massive, absolutely, massive, yes. So, all right, so we're all liking the idea of this. So I want to give you some specific insider secrets to help you make that a reality. Like I said previously, around about 9 o'clock, just after 9 o'clock, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with us if you want to. But until then, I'm just going to keep giving you content. So the first bit of that content, this is real solid content I'm giving you now. This is not fluff. This is not a pile of nonsense. This is content. We've got a diamond model. It's a proven 7-step system. And you need to follow this system to make the SA business work. You need to discover so this is an acronym, 7 different letters. Write these down, please. You need to discover which type of service accommodation is going to work in what area. Because does service accommodation work in every area? Yeah. But does the same kind of service accommodation work in every area? No. Is yours more a holiday area? Or is it more for businessmen? Or is it more for contractors? Or is it more for families? Or is it more for tourists? You know, you need to understand your guest type before you, and You need to do top level research to say, what's the competition doing? How much are they charging per night? What's the availability of the competition? So this isn't a shot in the dark. So the discovery phase is roughly, strategically, what type of property in which area, okay? So that's what I mean by discover. We've got systems to build around that. Next, interrogate. So you're now narrowing down to a few streets in your chosen area. So never mind roughly what kind of property in roughly what area. Which specific, is it a 2-bed? Is it a 3-bed? Is it a flat? Is it a house? Is it in Station Road? Is it in Meadowbank? Does it need to be nearer to the Asda in Dumbarton? Would it be good if it was next door to the station? You know, all these questions. Interrogate such that you've got a business plan, you know your key costs, you know your rate per night, and you know your likely occupancy before you start. And you've got to do them in this order as well. Next, you acquire the property. And you'll note that I'm not saying buy the property. You could buy it, but I've got many other ways that you can acquire the property as well, including, as we've already discussed, rent to rent. Next, marketing. You could have the best property, fantastically targeted, wonderfully acquired, and you don't market it. Nobody knows you're there. You're not going to get any bookings. You're going to go bust. Next, operations. How do you let people in? How do you let them out? How do you sort the cleaners out? How do you take payment? How do you sort the keys out? How many sets of laundry do you need? All of the operational stuff. Because everything up until that point would be perfect. If you're not good, operations all falls over. Any one of these 7 elements is missing, pack up, go home. You're not going to have a business. Next, numbers. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. That's rule 1. Rule 2, just because you're measuring it doesn't mean you're managing it. So which numbers should you measure and what should you do with those numbers once you've got them? Okay. And then finally, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Because once you've proven it once, do it again and again and again. Because it's pretty unlikely that you're going to get totally financially free with just one service accommodation unit. You might if it's Archerfield House or Dunera, but likely you're going to need 5 or 10. So you need to duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. So we've got a fully proven, documented system. We spent more than £20,000 on our systems. We've got end-to-end service department processes, systems, and manuals. So that's how seriously we take our business. We've spent 20 grand making sure it's fully systemized. Okay, so let's take a look at some of those elements of the diamond model. And I'm just randomly starting with M for marketing. Let's have a bit of a deeper look at marketing. What does marketing mean? Well, marketing means you really have to be on booking.com. I'm going to share with you now the 80-20 rule of service accommodation. Booking.com on its own in the early days will give you 80% or more of the bookings. So yeah, it takes a few weeks. Yeah, you've got to jump through a few hoops, but don't give up. If you try and run a service accommodation unit without being registered on booking.com, you will fail. So you're going to get repeat bookings. You're going to get direct bookings in the future. But when you start, nobody knows you're there. You can't possibly have repeat bookings because nobody stayed with you. You need to get bookings from booking.com. So you're going to get lots and lots and lots of short stay bookings. What do I mean by short stay? I mean 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Ideally, you want direct long bookings. But to begin with, you've got to go through this and you've got to get repeat, booking.com, booking.com, booking.com. Write that down 3 times. Get yourself on booking.com. Now that is going to cost you 15% of the bookings, pay it, and indeed consider paying more. Because if you tell booking.com, I'll actually pay 16, 17, 18%, they'll bump you up the listings. You'll come top of the results. So consider paying a little bit more. Also, Airbnb. You're going to get longer stays. I want you to set Airbnb to inquiries, not bookings, because you can't take bookings from booking.com and bookings from Airbnb manually because you'll get double booked. So take inquiries, not bookings, and react fast. And don't ignore traditional methods, flyers, review forms, coupons, discount in the apartment itself. When you get more advanced, you're going to go and get a channel manager. What's a channel manager? This is a channel manager. A channel manager means you could be listed on 20, 30, 40 different booking engines. So Late Rooms, Expedia, Booking.com, Airbnb. What else have you heard of? I'm sure there's loads and loads and loads. There's so many different ones. So many different ones. You can't be listed on all of them until you've got a piece of software that manages all those updates automatically. So it's called a channel manager. And what's it going to do? It's going to manage the interface with all the different booking engines. It's going to send the cleaner in automatically. It's going to take payment for you. It's going to do all of the grunt work so that you don't have to. So you really want to consider hard investing in a channel manager. And in fact, I could give you the names of channel managers that are virtually free. Virtually free. Next, I want you to download Pulse. Pulse is a free app, and it's the back end of Booking.com. So you can manage Booking.com from your phone now. So you can be anywhere in the world doing whatever you want to be doing, and you get the bookings come in, and you can manage communications with the guests, you can monitor payments, you can see what the cleaners are doing. You can do so much stuff on your phone, and all you need is a channel manager and Pulse. So let's randomly read this one. These are from a few years ago now, but I'm giving you real stuff from over the years. So this was 8th of May 2016. So this is just over 2 years ago. So what have we got there? We've got new booking for Sunday 31st of July. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Because that booking for the 31st of July was actually made on the 8th of May. So new booking for Sunday, 31st of July, 2016, for 14 nights in Broadway House. That's one of our units in Bournemouth. So it's 14 nights in a one bed in Bournemouth for £1,666. So that's a decent chunk of change. And all the little flags, that is Carl Christian coming from Germany. So Carl came to stay with us. He paid us several months in advance, and he gave us £1,666 for a one-bedroom flat in Bournemouth that would normally rent out for about £600 a month. So for 2 weeks, he gave us 1,600 quid. Then we've got Anna from Ireland coming to Subway Stop, which is a unit in Glasgow. 3 nights, tiny little flat in Glasgow, £219. Well, that's a flat that would rent for £450, £475 a month. Where are we going now? So we've got Abia coming in from Kuwait. The only thing I haven't got here is anybody booking in from the UK. So we've got the 10th of May 2016, so a couple of days later. And these are actual live bookings. You can manage it. I obviously can't click on the screen and do it live, but this is on my phone, just screenshots from my phone. So it's 22 nights back in Bournemouth again, £2,398 for a studio. A studio in Bournemouth, you're going to be renting that part of Bournemouth for about £550 a month. So instead of £550, there's a guy coming in from Kuwait who's going to stay a full month with us for £2,398. I just love this strategy. I absolutely love it. So here's Karen. I'm sure you can read that yourself. Well, this is Karen came and did our 2-day service accommodation masterclass with us in May 2016. So she did the course, and then a week later, she posted this in one of our Facebook groups. She said, last Monday, I put the house live on Airbnb. Wednesday, first booking inquiry from a group of pilots. £3,500 for 5 people for just over a month. Left it a couple of days. Decided to prompt a response if they're going to book. They came back to me with a longer booking time. More people, bumped up the booking to over £5,000. And that's within a week of doing the course. Boom. Well done, Karen. £5,000 for a house, and that house wouldn't even rent for £1,000 a month. That particular house, Karen told me about it, it's an ex-council house. £5,000 for a council house for pilots to stay for a month. Happy days, indeed, as you say. Happy days, Karen, and well done. So this is as quick as it can be. And this is just one property. And that one booking would have made her more than £3,000 profit in a month once all of her costs are taken out of there. So when you get longer stay bookings, the cleaner's only going to go in, and the linen's only going to get changed once a week. So you've got virtually no costs, and huge profits, huge. So these are real people with real results. So you're probably asking yourself some questions. Where's this opportunity come from? How do I learn the 7-step system? How are these people doing it so fast? Can I make it work? I've already got a buy-to-let property. Why can't I do this? How much money can I make? These are good questions. These are very good questions. So what do you need to get started straight away? To get results like this. This is in Walsall, a 2-bedroom flat. Buy to let, £510. Buy to let profit, 160 from that. It went live on the 14th of October. Occupancy, 94%. Woof. In the first 2 weeks, this is a flat that goes out for £510 a month, £1,680. Now, I'm going to give you a rule of thumb here. The rule of thumb when you first start, you should expect to make 40% profit from your revenue. So if you take £10, you should make £4 profit. So if you take that 1,680 and turn it into a month instead of 2 weeks, at 40%, that means that flat straight away started making £1,344 profit. January 2017, give you a different month. So that was October 16 that one went live. January 17, it made £3,939. So if I take the rule of thumb, 40% profit, it should have made £1,970. But I'm going to show you what profit we actually made on it. The actual profit was £2,362. That's because we're well established, we've got systems, we've got processes, we've got procedures. So we make more money than people might straight away after the course, because we got a lot more experience and we know how to do things that little bit better. So we give you everything you need in the course such that you can make 40%. But for goodness sake, even if you're only making 1,970, let's call it £2,000, when you normally make 160, that's like 15 times more money. Huge, absolutely huge. I want to show you this as well, because this was a direct booking from a company called Silver Door. You might want to write that one down. And it was a booking for 49 nights for this apartment at £109 per night. So one booking from a company called Silver Door, £5,341. £5,341. And that was months ahead. So you're getting huge money and you're getting it way far in advance. So to make sure you know, is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Should I do this flat? Or should I do that flat? Or should I do this house? We've got something called a serviced apartment deal analyzer, SA deal analyzer. So it's an instant quick start tool that gives you all the answers you need. And it's been developed by our service accommodation mastermind members. I showed you some pictures of them working towards the beginning of the video. So they've developed this piece of software, simply, quickly, reliably analyze every potential deal. Give you an instant decision, yeah or no. Just fill in all the fields. We sell it for £1,200 plus VAT. So if you want it, you can get it, £1,200 plus VAT. And we give it to our SA mastermind members. So if you come through the program and you decide to join up and do the course and everything, we give it to our SA mastermind members. You can buy it if you want for just £1,200 plus VAT. And what you'll do with that is you'll find your first deal and you'll probably get your money back in the first month to 6 weeks. It's that fast. So it's almost like, how could you not invest in this? So that's what it looks like. You can see it's not complicated. It comes with an instruction manual. You just got to fill in some fields, put in all. So it prompts you to make all the right decisions, analyze it, tabulate it, press the analyze button, and it says yep or no. All right, so how can you get started? Well, you could take a single let, you could discover the systems, furnish it and get Wi-Fi. It really is that easy. There's some stuff to sort out that we can tell you what to do: planning, insurance, finance and business rates, get it advertised in the right booking engines and see the bookings roll in. It's that easy. You could be 4 or 5 weeks away from getting your first guests come through the door and enjoy the instant positive cash flow of future bookings. But you might be sat there thinking, oh, Paul, I don't have a single let yet. Well, okay, I can't help everybody, but fortunately, I can still help you. Here's how. We've talked about it a few times already, in acquire. So one of the 7 ways that I show you how to acquire things on the course is I share 7 different ways to acquire properties. So no buy to let, no problem. I've mentioned it a few times already in this webinar. How about this then? Rent to rent. How about rent to rent? But you might be sat there thinking, oh, well, I've seen that advertised on property courses before. That's for HMOs, isn't it? No, for years now, I've been teaching how to do rent to rent for service accommodation. much faster, it's much simpler because you don't need any structural changes. You just got to do a rent to rent, probably just furnish it, and you can even lease the furniture. So you can do a rent to rent on the property, and then you can do a rent to rent on the furniture. So your setup costs are virtually zero. And your cash flow, as soon as it goes live, you're going to be taking more money in future bookings. In fact, you can even send it live on booking.com and Airbnb before you've actually got the keys. So you could be getting cash in your hand up front that allows you to fund the setting up of your rent to rent. So it's virtually zero investment, virtually none. So here's an example of a rent to rent that we've had, well, we had years ago in Doncaster. It's a place called Jenkinson Grove. So there it is on booking.com. That's a picture of it from the outside. So, you know, nice modern 2-bedroom apartment. We actually had 2 in that block on stage. So here's some random numbers for you. August 15 and April 16. Now you can see, if you just maybe take a picture of that, because it will show you the breakdown of booking fees, card fees, cleaning, laundry, rent, and the net. You can see at the top there, August 15, we made £615 on a flat that we didn't own. Now I'm sure most of you will be quite happy with £615 on a flat that you don't own. But the point is, there's only 32.72%. So we don't like that. We want it to be more than 40%. So you can see by the following April, we've done stuff to take it up to more than 40%. So it's 750 quid from the same flat. So 750 pounds from the same flat. So just put a yes or something in the chat box if you like the idea of £700 a month from a flat that you don't even own. That's net profit. Net profit. So Tom's saying yes, happy with that. Claire's saying boom, yes, yes please. Fab, says Rangan. All right, so we like the idea of that. So I'm on purpose, and yeah, I'm not showing you the glitzy, fabulous ones. I've got ones that make 2.5, 3 grand a month. I'm just showing you the, you know, the bottom end stuff, the entry point stuff, such that you can get on with it. 600, 700, 800 pound a month. Sweet, that's no problem. It's not particularly good. So how do we take it from 32% to 42%? Well, that was the lounge. Not particularly exciting, is it? That's a bit basic. So we did that to it. We spent £2,000, done a little tiny refurb, and suddenly 30-odd% becomes 40-odd%. So I'm sure you'd agree that is basic. The person that set it up for us, we told them to put artwork on every wall. Now, if your eyesight's not particularly good, you might not even be able to see the pictures because they're about like, you know, I'm not sure they're even A4 size. They're tiny, absolutely tiny. So no rugs, no dressings of any kind, you know, absolutely pathetic. Look at that. So a few cushions on the couch, a proper table, proper piece of artwork, a nice table with a vase on it, you know, and a standard lamp. So none of this is expensive, but it does look better, doesn't it? So as soon as you do that, the rates that you can command go up because people make the decisions based on the photographs. So suddenly 750 quid instead of 600 quid. So friend of ours, Scott, he's got some rent to rent. So here's a rent to rent. Here's an example of his. And this is in a place called Kyle Street. So what's Scott's criteria for rent to rent? He wants a minimum 600 quid profit a month, which is fair enough. Total transparency with the landlord. He tells the landlord absolutely everything that he's going to be doing up front. He uses the diamond model, swears by the diamond model. He's got easy access for the guest, is one of his criteria. And he uses a rolling 6-month break clause, such that if it didn't work or if the government did something, he can always exit quickly if the environment changes. So let's give you the numbers for that one. There you go, it's a 3-bed flat in the town centre. The rent on it is £450. All the costs, cleaning, broadband, utilities, whatever, is £350. His average monthly rental after fees, so this is after fees deducted, is £1,800. So his minimum monthly profit he's making on that is £1,000. And he solved the problem for the landlord because the communal entrance is a bit scruffy, which makes it hard to let on a traditional tenancy. Serviced accommodation users are much less fussed about what it looks like on the outside, as long as the inside is nice. So that's a key point that you might want to just make a little note of there. The inside has got to be nice. So what's the worst that could happen? You get no bookings. Well, if you've already got it working as a single let, you could just put it back to a single let, couldn't you? I mean, I've never ever seen a service apartment that gets no bookings at all. That would be crazy. But if it wasn't working for you, or you'd made a bit of a blooper with your first property in your first area, as long as you use Scott's model and our model, which is a 6-month break clause, you could just give it back. You'll get some bookings, and if it's not working, just give it back. Damage. Well, for goodness sake, you need to get properly insured. So, you know, I can tell you exactly where to get the right service accommodation insurance from. We work very closely with particular brokers and insurance providers. But even if so a property got damaged, which I've never had significant damage. I've had a few £100. I've never had thousands of pounds. I've had a few £100. But yeah, if you book through Airbnb, many of these OTAs, many of the online travel agents, they offer you complimentary insurance. Airbnb gives you $1 million of insurance. Now, most of my properties in Scotland, never mind damage it, they'd have to steal it to get anywhere close to that. I don't have any £1 million or $1 million service accommodation units. The most expensive one I've got is probably pushing £300,000, which is a 4-bedroom house. So get insured, get properly insured, and it's much better than buy-to-let, because if anything does happen, you've got the guest credit card to charge them, and you've got the OTAs are giving you complimentary insurance. So a real problem is something like the cleaner doesn't turn up. So make sure you've got plan B. So you're probably thinking damage, bookings. No, that's not the real problem. The real problem is something like the cleaner doesn't turn up. So make sure it's a cleaning company and not a cleaner, is my view. Okay, so let's have a little look now at operations. So Grace is saying, do I need any planning permission to run SA? Probably not, Grace. Some councils, so to go slightly technical on you, some councils say that you need to have C1, which is a planning use class. C3 is residential. C1 is like the same as hotels and bed and breakfast and stuff. So it's a really grey area. Some councils say, yep, you need C1. Other councils say, nope, you can just operate it as C3. So if you need planning, then just apply for it, because you almost always you'll get it. So yeah, I'll push on. There's people asking me questions, which I will answer at the end, but I promise that I get through the content by 9:15. So I want to try and do that if it's all right. And then I'll hang around after that to do questions. All right, so let's look at operations. When you're scaling your business, you need a property furnishing list. So we've got for you, and we can make available to you, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom. So, you know, how many beds do you need? How many sets of linen do you need? Bedside cabinets, right down to knife, forks and spoons. We've done all that work so that you don't have to. Linen, you need to think, are you going to buy it or are you going to hire it? Don't do what I did first time out and go and buy it from, where did I buy it from? Asda for, you know, 20 quid for a duvet set. As soon as that goes through an industrial washing machine, it comes out looking like a tea bag. You know, it's got holes in it. Any buttons or anything like that is going to get ripped off. So you want hotel grade linen. We hire ours, we don't buy it, and we've got a contract with a company such that they pick up all the dirty linen and they deliver back. I'm saying linen, but I mean sheets, duvet covers, pillowcases, hand towels, flannels, bath towels, tea towels, bath mats. So, you know, there's a pile of stuff. To give you a feel for it, it's about 7 quid per person per changeover. That's roughly what you're looking at if you hire it. You've got to sort out the right insurance. So make sure you've got service accommodation insurance. And the critical thing that you need, and you need specialist brokers for this. So I'll give you one just so that there's a few people asking about insurance. So write this one down. Too Good. So that's T-O-O, good, Too Good. So put in Too Good insurance brokers, talk to them. They know about service accommodation and they'll keep you right. So you need public liability and you need professional indemnity insurance. And it's no more expensive than buy-to-let insurance. It's just buy-to-let insurance is not relevant. It's not valid. Make sure you use professional photography, not like me in my early days, because it will make such a difference. Make sure you get the property dressed or staged so it looks good. And make sure you use a property setup check sheet. So, you know, the TV is in, it's tuned. I've got Wi-Fi in. So develop a check, or use ours, or develop a check sheet for yourself. Make sure that you know what the cleaner's doing. So we use housekeepers as opposed to cleaners. Close communication with the cleaner is critical. You want really good communication. So they're not only going to do your cleaning, They're going to check your smoke alarms. They're going to read your electric meters. They're going to change light bulbs, because effectively they're your first line of maintenance. And you want to make sure you do all this stuff. Make sure that your cleaner has got a checkout inventory. So when a guest has left, make sure they've got pictures so they know what should be there, in case the guest has accidentally walked off with the television or something. I'm joking. It's never happened to me. I do know someone it did happen to. Guests decided to take 6 televisions from a large service apartment, but they paid for them all. But anyway, different story for a different day. Make sure the heating is reset, the TV is reset to English, and everything's back per the pictures that you've provided to the cleaners to make sure that that's right. We always use a cleaning firm as opposed to an individual cleaner, because an individual cleaner can go sick. Maybe their kids are not going to be well, or they've got to go look after their mum or something, so they don't turn up. So we always use a cleaning firm. And make sure you've got a list of 3 tradesmen, from which one should be 24 hours. Because if something goes wrong, people are going to expect you to get it fixed like now, not in a week's time. People are not going to stay in your service department if there's no heating or no hot water in the middle of winter. Be reasonable. So you need all that in terms of physical operations. So let me start talking to you about, well, who a service accommodation masterclass worked for. Well, this is a young man that we still work with. This is a guy called Gordy, lovely lad. So he attended masterclass in August 2016. So there's a very happy Gordy, and a slightly younger Paul a few years ago now. He had no previous property experience. The following year, 1 year later, he had 9 units live, and his average monthly profit 1 year later was 7,800. He's now got 35 properties and counting, and he managed to leave his job, which was a well-paid job, within just 4 months of joining the course. This is one of his properties. This is a rent-to-rent. All of his are rent-to-rents. This is Walker House. So it's a nice traditional period building. It's a 2-bed. I'm sure you'd agree it looks nice. So here we go. Here's the figures. So last May, the gross income was 2,1. The rent 600. Booking fees 195. Cleaning and laundry 120. Monthly operating expenses, so gas, electric, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, left him with a net profit of £1,005. So £1,000 from a flat that he doesn't own. October last year, the income, he was better at managing it, so the income was up to £3,083. Rent 600 quid, booking fees, cleaning and laundry, monthly operating expenses 200. Bosh, £1,636 from a flat that he doesn't even own. How about that? That is just phenomenal stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. Well done, Gordy. But there's more, because Gordy's got really good at direct bookings. So look what the young man has done now. On the 14th of May, so what's that? I'm going to say like 3 weeks ago or something, he got a direct booking for £15,000 for one of his apartments. But not satisfied with that. Later on the same day, in fact, within an hour, he got a direct booking for £56,000. So in one day, he got £71,000 worth of direct bookings for his portfolio. Absolutely astonishing. So if you like the idea of being like Gordy and doing what Gordy did, then you need to get yourself on our service accommodation 2-day masterclass. And then you'll have a big smile just like his. So what you've discovered so far, I hope you'd agree it's been time well spent. I really do. And obviously, I can't cover everything in an hour's webinar or even for the whole day. I need 2 days with you. So you'll be thrilled to know, if you like what you've heard so far, you can come and join me on a 2-day masterclass. So if you want to get started on a service accommodation journey and you want to learn more about the anti-landlord legislation, how to neutralise it, how to set up your very first SA, 7 different ways to acquire property, including rent-to-rent, how to get extra cash flow fast, a detailed plan to reduce your tax bill, often to 0, including your job. If you like the idea of that, I want to work with you. So let me ask you a question. How would you like to work directly with me and my team to start, run and grow your service accommodation business? Because if you like the idea of that, I'm going to give you the chance to do exactly that. So Claire is saying yes. Andrew's saying yes. So I've got people in here saying, yes, I want to work with you. So if you want to work with me, I want to work with you. And I want to make sure that you've got every opportunity to start a successful service accommodation business as soon as you possibly can. So to reiterate, I'm going to teach you how to discover, interrogate, acquire, market, operate, do the numbers, and duplicate. I'm going to give you everything. Yogesh is saying yes. So I've got so many people in the chat box saying, yes, I want to come and work with you, Paul. All right, I'm going to give you that opportunity in just a few minutes. So you'd be thrilled to know you can get started today. You can get started absolutely right here and right now today with a service accommodation masterclass. So I'm going to give you the link that you need to actually click on and book your place right now. So on your screen, the service accommodation masterclass has just been shared, and you can absolutely jump on that and book it right now. So listen to me, because I want to give you some extra stuff, make it even more special investment for you, some special 2 days together. So I'm now going to go through more detail of what you get when you make that investment. So the regular price is $2,997 plus VAT. Because you've been good enough to give up your evening, I'm going to make you an incredible offer, and I'm going to offer you some additional resources to make sure you start your service accommodation journey fast and you make profit and you do it from day one. So you can secure your spot. And just so you know, this you make that investment, it's going to be valid in Doncaster. Now it's at our offices. That gives us lower costs versus when we do it in a hotel. And we also include one night in our service accommodation in Doncaster for just £1.50. We've got to charge you £1.50, otherwise you can't leave us a review. And we don't want a good review, we want an honest review. So if you make that investment for just an extra £1.50, you can have some accommodation overnight and come and stay with us for 2 days in Doncaster for just £1.50. But please do leave us a review. If it suits you, we've got dates and availability in London. But you can't have the £1.50 accommodation in London, obviously, and Glasgow. So you've got a choice of 3 different venues. But just jump on, book your place, make that reservation right here and right now, and we'll honour that price for any future date. And if it's in Doncaster, we'll give you accommodation for just £1.50. Now, I get this is not for everybody. So if you've listened, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing an hour with me. I really appreciate that. So if you've decided service accommodation is not for you, I get it. I respect that. For everybody else that wants to do this, and I can see so many people going through to that order form right now to actually book their place. So thank you. Claire is saying really interested. So come and spend 2 days with us, and we will make certain that by the time you leave, you've got a full grip of everything you need to do to start your service accommodation business the next day. So this is for everybody else. The person that says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. So if you're the person that wants to do it, I'm going to stop everybody else interfering with your mind to tell you that it can't be done. I have trained thousands of people to do this, and they start and they run profitable service accommodation businesses. So if you like the idea of a profitable service accommodation business starting the day after the 2-day course, I want to work with you. So here is my requirement of you, and it's very simple. You have to have decided that you want to do it. I don't care how much property you've got. I don't care if you've got 500 units or none. 0 previous property experience required. You don't have to have any money. Aside from the course fees, you do not need 1 single penny to start a successful service accommodation business. That's it. So my requirement is dead simple. You have to have decided you are going to do this. What is the Service Accommodation Masterclass going to do for you? Everything you need to start a successful, profitable service accommodation business the next day. But I'm going to give you a bit more information, a bit more detail. So we cover all of this and more. How to own a business, your ideal business structure. We give you our little black book of advisors and contacts. How much extra money you can make in detail. All the hands-free systems you're ever going to need. This is a fantastic level of information that's just right. We've tuned it over the years to help you get started literally the next day. We're going to make sure that you are totally compliant from a legal perspective. We're going to help you to set up a leverage and outsource business so the work gets done, but you don't need to do it. How to legitimately claim your pre-tax expenses, including your course. So the investment that you make is going to be completely written off against your tax bill. how to set up your pension, and how to build your legacy. And obviously there's far more, but I just want to give you a feel, an overview of what the Service Accommodation Masterclass includes. I want to share with you what the delegates say, if that's okay. So it's a few moments of your time to share with you what people that have been on the course say about it. So I've just got a little quick video that I'm going to play for you, and it's like 2 or 3 minutes, but it's really good feedback from people that have actually done the course. Here we go.
I had one service accommodation already, which wasn't doing very well at all.
I've been a property investor since '96.
I was a detective in the police force for 23 years.
My background is in project management in the city.
I have a development company.
I'm a business owner. I have my business now for about 20 years.
We run service accommodation down in Plymouth and also HMOs, and we do commercial conversions as well. I first heard about Masterclass after a progressive property networking event.
I've heard of Paul's masterclass. I've listened to some webinars before.
I needed a lot of guidance, being completely new both to property and service accommodation.
The opportunity excited me and something I knew I could get into.
I just thought, oh, can't really afford to do it. And then it got to the stage where I couldn't afford not to do it.
One of the things I wanted was more cash flow, and that's when I thought about the service accommodation, because I'd listened to a few webinars by Paul Smith.
I wanted to understand exactly how to run a kind of a hands-free business, how that would actually work. And that's what interested me the most about the masterclass.
Main benefit to attending the masterclass would have been real clarity.
It gives you all the templates, all the checklists, all the information you need to know to keep on the right side of the law and to keep compliant.
I felt it gave me that knowledge, to give me the confidence to go forward and actually put things into action.
They completely opened my eyes and my mind to to an opportunity I didn't know existed.
The information from Masterclass was so informative, and it was also the supportive element of it.
It is a group of like-minded people. There's a high level of energy in the room. We keep each other focused, and I am pretty sure that it expedites results.
I launched the 4 apartments in September.
We've increased the cash flow of the business massively.
And once I was up and running with Airbnb and Booking.com, really went amazing.
I am just about to go live with 4 service accommodation units.
My property business actually gone into 6 figures.
There's another 50 to follow in the next couple of years, which will change my financial future completely.
It's proved already within a couple of months things are starting to get better.
I would never have believed in April of last year that I could have progressed this much in such a short span of time.
And to say without being rude, but it's the kick up the arse that you need.
So I think the investment is absolutely worth it, and it will allow you to actually build a scalable service accommodation business that you can actually have for the rest of your life.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that short video. As you can see from that, that was just a random selection of delegates, all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different levels of experience, but all of them universally saying this was a great thing to have done. So to be clear, there is work to be done. The rewards are enormous, but the rewards need work. So I need some commitment from you to turn up for the 2 days and then to do what we show you how to do on the course. You do those 2 things, you make lots of money. So it's not for you if you've already got too much money or you don't think this can work. Because if you think you can, you think you can't, you're probably right. So if you've decided that service accommodation is not going to work for you, please don't invest. Please don't invest, because it won't work. If your mind is open and you want to make this work, invest. But if you've decided, oh, it won't work, well then don't come. Please, don't come. Because not only will you spoil it for yourself, you'll spoil it for everybody else. So I want to work with like-minded people that have decided they're going to change their lives. We're all one decision away from a completely different life. Now, if you're sat there thinking, should I do it, should I not? Is rent to rent hard to get? I can show you easy ways to automate getting rent to rent, such that landlords are ringing you, begging you to take their property off them. So if you like the idea of that, go for it. Make the investment in yourself. But if you've decided, no, this is not going to work, you sat there with your arms crossed thinking, this is nonsense, I don't want you on the course. Because if someone like you comes on the course with your arms crossed being grumpy, you're going to spoil it, not only for you, but for everybody else. So it's not for you if you decided it won't work. But if you want to do this, that is the only requirement I have of you. If you want to do this, jump on that link and I'll see you on a course very soon. But if you want properties like this is the Trafford in Manchester. It's a 2-bed in Manchester, 725 quid as a buy-to-let, 115 profit. The average night rate as SA, £199. The occupancy in June 2017, 73%. £4,384 from a 2-bedroom flat, for goodness sake. Profit 2,983 from one flat. Imagine having one flat giving you £2,983 profit in a month and you don't even own it. So it's over 2 years buy-to-let cash flow in a single month. I can show you exactly how to do this. Complete hands-free managed service if you want. So if you want to do this, I want to work with you. Here's Toyin, attended Masterclass 2016, June 2016. Excited is an understatement. So after my 14K booking on Friday, which wrapped up the week nicely, 13,250 on Monday. Boom, 27 grand's worth of bookings in 2 days. No wonder she's smiling. Then it's specifically for you if you want results just like Toyin. So here's how we're going to do it. You'll get the exact systems we use in our service accommodation business. First and foremost, 2 days face-to-face training with me, with Paul, in person. I love doing webinars, but I can't get feedback. I can't see your faces. I can't answer your questions real time. To get the real value of this material, I need you in the same room as me. And we're not talking courses of 200, 300, 400 people. We're talking 20 to 30 people, so I can give you real personal attention. Secure your spot. Get on that link, click, get it sorted out. Doncaster, London, Glasgow. You're one decision away from a completely different financial future. Number 2, I want to include in the package our complete systems. £23,841 we spent on that. So I'm going to put a value on it of 997 quid. We've spent 20 grand. You don't have to. 997 is good value to get all of those systems. The deal analyzer, talked about that earlier on. The instant quick start tool, developed by our SA mastermind, people with real big SA portfolios. Simple, quick, reliably analyze every single deal, give an instant decision. £1,200. That's what we sell it for. So you're going to get 2 days of face-to-face training. You're going to get the systems blueprints. You're going to get the deal analyzer. The total value of all of that is £5,194. But I want to give you a couple of bonuses, but this is only for the first 30 people. So jump on, get your place, and make sure you're in the first 30. Don't be number 31. I'm going to give you access to 40 plus documents and checklists. A guy called Mo that you saw it, he was the younger guy that said he operated down in the West Country. He loves this. So many people loves this. 40 plus documents and checklists. He said in the video, we give you all the documents and checklists so you don't have to do it. Every diamond step in detail. It's a fill in the blanks document library. I'm going to reward action takers. The first 30 people are going to get that as a bonus. The second bonus, again for the first 30 people, is our contract library. Terms and conditions of hire. The management agreement that you need to do rent to rents with people. The joint venture agreements that you're going to need to do work with people. We paid £2,308 to Langley's, our solicitors, for that. I'm going to give that as a bonus for the first 30 people. So you're going to get the face-to-face training. You're going to get the blueprints. You're going to get the analyzer. You're going to get the swipe and deploy vault of documents. You're going to get the contract library. The total value of that is £8,499. Now, if you only cash flow £1,000 a month for life, would it be worth it? Of course. £5,000 a month, would it be worth it? Of course. Complete and absolute financial freedom, would it be worth it? Of course. What's your future worth to you? 5, 10, 25 grand a month more? I don't know. How much would you pay to get good education for your children, healthcare for your family, freedom to travel all year? I don't know. But I do know that service accommodation is the first step on that journey to a completely different future. And I want to hold your hand as we walk down that path together. You can see why 2 whole days are a great deal at £8,499. And you are 1 deal away from this per month. Service accommodation masterclass is £2,997 plus VAT. So as a special thank you from me for being here, for spending your evening with me. I'm going to give you an action taker's reward. I'm going to give you everything we just talked about for just 1995. So not even £2,000. 1995 plus VAT. And you're going to get everything. So everything on that list, 1995 plus VAT today. So jump on, make sure you get your space. 25% of the people watching this webinar have already jumped on to the order form. 25%. So don't forget, those 2 bonuses are just for the first 30 people. So we don't have 30 people booked on yet. Make sure you're not the 31st and lose out. Secure your spot. So here's your dates. Here's the next 3 dates. We've got more dates. Don't worry about the date, but I'm just giving you the dates. So you could be doing this in a few weeks' time. 21st and 22nd of June in Doncaster, we've got 5 places left. 30th of June, 1st of July in Doncaster, which is a brand new date we've just added because we've got far too many people booking on and we're not going to be able to look after them otherwise. So you could be doing this at the end of the month. Or the 16th and 17th of August in Doncaster. Those are the next 3 dates. I don't have any dates in July because I take July as a holiday. I take the family away. Scotland is a month earlier than England, so we're disappearing off to the sunshine for a month, which is another thing service accommodation lets you do. So, but don't worry about the date. You book on tonight and our team will phone you tomorrow, and you can get dates in Glasgow, you can get dates in London, but the next 3 dates all happen to be in Doncaster. 1 in 2 weeks, 1 in 3 weeks, and 1 in a couple of months. So just get on and start earning thousands. Now it's over to you. You've got a couple of choices. Your first option is do nothing. Don't take this life-changing chance. I'm going to make it 100% risk-free for you. I'm going to give you a ridiculous guarantee. Your second option is act now. Change your life. Make this small investment, and if it works, great. If not, just ask for your money back and I'll give it to you. Get started right now, because here is my guarantee. Rock solid guarantee. Invest today, here, now, at this discounted price. And if, when you've attended the masterclass, you keep all the material, just say to me that you're unhappy after the masterclass. No worries. Take advantage of me. You've had all the training. You've got all the materials. You've got all the bonuses. All you have to tell me is you're unhappy at the end of day 2, and I will give you a full refund. You can actually have this course for nothing if you want. You can come and do it. You can get all the material. You can keep all the material. All you've got to do at the end of day 2 is tell me you're not happy. All you've got to do is tell me you're not happy, and I'll give you a full refund. So here's your choices. Do nothing, and you're going to stay in the 40-40-40. What's the 40-40-40? 40 years of your life, 40 hours a week in order to retire on 40% of what you couldn't afford to live on in the first place. That's the 40-40-40. So if you do nothing, you're going to stay trapped in the 40-40-40. I don't want you to do that. Warren Buffett, what did he say? If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now that is just truth. I don't want you working until you die. I want you to have a lovely life doing whatever you want, whenever you want. So what's that going to cost you? It's going to cost you a couple of days and a couple of grand to get out of the 40-40-40. I want your phone to look something like that. I want your phone to have 11, 12, 13, 15, 20,000 pounds as your day's taking. Please don't ignore this exclusive opportunity, because if you do, you won't be able to pocket an extra £1,000 per month per property that you either own or you don't. And last but not least, if you're coming along with a life or business partner, if you buy 2 tickets today using the link that I've displayed there, you get the second person for just 50%. So less than £3,000 plus VAT, both of you can attend. Think about the difference this masterclass is going to make to them too. One last time, you're going to get the 2 days face-to-face training. You're going to get all of the systems blueprints. You're going to get the deal analyzer. You're going to get the swipe and deploy vault, and you're going to get the contract library. £8,499 worth of goods and services for just 1995 as my gift for you for being here this evening. Final time, your reminder. We do this in Doncaster, we do it in London, we do it in Glasgow. I want to see you in Doncaster, because that way you get face-to-face, in-person experience of staying in a service department for just £1.50. If you're thinking, well, I can't get to Doncaster, you can. It's in the middle of the country. 90 minutes by train from King's Cross. So what's that? £24 return when I did that search. £15.80 from Manchester. You get it from Manchester in 75 minutes. London is 90 minutes. It's on the A1. It's on the M1. It's just off the M62. It's got an international airport. It is not hard to get to Doncaster. You get started today for just £1,995. And I mentioned earlier, you get a tax rebate on it. If you're a 20% taxpayer, you're going to get 478 back. If you're a 40% taxpayer, you're going to get 957 back. If you're 45% taxpayer, not that you need it, but you're going to get £1,000 back. So it's not actually going to cost you £1,995. It's going to cost you £1,500 to £1,000, something like that, by the time you've claimed your rebate. Okay, the dates, one final time. 21st, 22nd of June, 30th of June, 1st of July, 16th, 17th of August. So some of those dates are weekdays, some of the weekends, you know, so whatever suits you. So please book on. I want to spend time with you. I want to get to know you. So thank you. Any questions that I haven't covered or anything that I don't get a chance to talk to you about in the next 10, 15 minutes, there's the office phone number. Please call 01302 897 131 and ask whatever you need to know. All right, so that's the official end of the webinar, in inverted commas. I'm 5 minutes late, sorry about that. I got a bit carried away again, as I quite often do. So what do you want to know? Any questions? I'm going to scroll back through the webinar to, the chat box to find the questions. Claire, really want to do this. Wazim, has the course got more content than the online version? Absolutely, tons more, Wazim. Absolutely, tons more. Claire is saying, do you work with Landlord Smart? Absolutely. I work for them. Well done. Yes, we've many of our clients have worked with Landlord Smart. So yeah, so that special offer is absolutely available to yourself, Claire. All of that stuff, everything we just talked about, for just, where has it gone? 1995 plus VAT. And obviously you're going to claim your tax rebate as well, or at least I hope you will. No reason not to. Okay, so what other questions have we got? Okay, Grace is saying, do you provide any support after the course? Absolutely. So you're in constant contact with us. So I think the simple answer, Grace, is yes, we do. So just jump on, get your place, and look forward to working with you, Grace. Kieran is saying, please can you tell me how much insurance costs? Do we need it for each SA? Absolutely. You need a lot more than just insurance, but yeah, you need insurance. So I'll give you a couple of examples as well, Kieran. So for a typical kind of 1-2 bed, I'm just referring to my own units now, you're probably looking at maybe £200 a year, something like that, Kieran. So it's the same as buy-to-let insurance, really. I mean, might be different by 10 or 20 quid, but so you know, on the course we share with you everything you need to know. So for instance, you're going to have people's phone numbers, contact details. You're going to have their credit card details. You're going to have all sorts of stuff. So for example, Kieran, you need to register for data protection. So that's something called the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, and it's like 39 quid. So none of this is hard, but but please, Kieran, anybody else, don't just think, oh, right, Paul's giving me all the stuff, I'm just going to go and do service accommodation. No, don't. You need to know a load of stuff before you. So I hope you found the webinar interesting, but there's a load of other stuff that you need to know to keep yourself compliant and legal. Okay, so Andrew is saying, isn't rent to rent asking the landlord to sublet? No, he's actually letting to you. So the landlord isn't subletting, you are. So you're taking a regular management agreement with the landlord, and you are then subletting. What are the chances of being able to find a landlord that agrees to that? If you know the systems, we've got an absolutely automated, foolproof system that you can get somebody, you can get a virtual assistant to do it for you. And a VA is going to cost you like £1.50 an hour. So for like £5 a week, we've got a way, Andrew, where for less than £5 per landlord signing up with you, you can fully automate it. So that's not per inquiry, that's per sign up. We can show you exactly how to do that for less than £5. George is saying, please mention capital allowances. George loves capital allowances. All right, George, let's do that. This is a fast start, so it's not like a kind of advanced service accommodation webinar or anything. I do, some subjects always different, content's always different. So George is saying, mention capital allowances. All right, my friend, I will. So capital allowances, that's a way in which you get tax-free earnings allowances because you've changed a buy-to-let into a service accommodation unit. And typically it's 45% of purchase price. So if you're a landlord out there and you've got a £200,000 property, flat or house or something, that you bought 5 years ago, even though you bought it 5 years ago, simply by turning it from a flat or a house into a service accommodation unit, you could claim capital allowances of probably around about £90,000, which means you've got £90,000 of tax-free income. So you can offset that against your PAYE income. You can even claim up to 2 years of income tax back as a refund. So, I was trying to give you the basics of service accommodation tonight. George knows me. George has done the course, and he wants me to tell you about capital allowances, so I am. But through our portfolio, through Annika and my portfolio, we've got £3 million worth of capital allowances, which means the next some of this, you're probably falling off your chair at this point or thinking, what? That's got to be nonsense. That's impossible. It's not. We've got more than £3 million worth of capital allowances, which means on a personal level, for me and Annika, we're not paying tax for the next £3 million worth of income. So, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty good. As far as anyone's concerned, it's probably pretty good. But some of the stuff I need to share with you is so unreal that I just want to share it with you in the room, because you'll probably think, what? That's impossible. It's not impossible, my friends. So yeah, all right, George. Thank you for the prompt. Okay, someone is saying, can you put it back to what do you get again? Yeah, I absolutely will. There you go. That's what you get for the 1995. And don't forget, if you bring 2 people, second person half price, 1995, you get all of that. Okay, so any more questions, or have I missed anything? I've got loads of people saying, see you in Doncaster, see you in Doncaster, fantastic, thank you. I've got a couple of people saying, see you in London, all right, don't really understand that. Not that I disrespect London, it's just like, it's 90 minutes on a train, for goodness sake, peeps. Just get yourself up to Doncaster, it's safe up there, it's not like dangerous or anything. We've got electricity, we've got internet, we've got all sorts of things. And come and stay in one of our service apartments for £1.50. So, yeah, but if you really, 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 really want to wait for our next course in London, which I think is in September, but you'll need to check with the team, then I will see you in London. Okay. Oh, all right. Kieran, you mentioned linen hire. Does that cost £7 per single bed set? Yeah, Kieran, but that's more than just the bed. That's like everything for one person. So that's bedding, towels, flannels, tea towels. It's all the stuff you need. And depending what grade you go for, it's like I think the range is like between £7 and about £8.50 if you want the really posh, fancy stuff that feels really nice. I think God, what do they call it? I think the top stuff is called Egyptian cotton. Don't ask me the details, but they start wobbling on about thread count and all sorts of stuff that I don't have the vaguest interest in. But essentially, if you want really nice stuff, you're going to pay a bit extra. And if you want the nice stuff, it's about £7. So there you go. So thank you, George. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Jamie. And he said, thank you, Annika. That's my wife. She's been commenting on the comments thread. Claire, is this for one person or can you bring a partner? Well, we've covered that. All right. Well, to each and every one of you, thank you. And I'm going to finish like I always do. You, my friends, have all been wonderful. I have been Paul, and I look forward to seeing you at the Service Accommodation Masterclass really soon. Have a great evening. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you, Shola. Good night.